right, so we got podcast number Nix for the number 6. I'm here with Josh Nix today. Brandon's not with us. And we're doing basically a breakdown of the NBA playoffs. We're going to do the bracket. We're going to do our predictions. And, we'll go from there. It's kind of crazy because when I originally did my bracket, I didn't even realize that they do, like, the bracket style. I kind of thought it was like the NFL. I totally forgot. Then I remembered. So I obviously had to redo it. So we can start with Golden State Clippers. I guess what's your initial thoughts? Who do you think's going to win? How many games? We got the series matchup pulled up right here. It looks like the Warriors won 3-1.
I'll tell you, this is going to be a tough one. I can't really tell if the Clippers are going to win a game or not.
I got the Warriors in 4. I don't know. Like, the Clippers are good, at least during the regular season, but they don't have any stars. They don't have... I don't know. They don't really have. I like Montrezl Harrell, but he's a bench player.
Montrezl Harrell's a really good player.
He's a hustler. Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, I am a Rockets fan. So if I refer to we at any point in this, it's because I'm referring to my team.
Yeah, just get that.
I act like I'm part of the team. So yeah, get used to that. But I saw Montrezl Harrell played with us for like a season or 2, and he was great off the bench.
Okay.
He wound up going to the Clippers in the Chris Paul trade. But
okay.
But no, the Clippers, I really like their team. Doc Rivers is, and we might get to awards later on in this, I don't know, but Doc Rivers is one of, the 7 or 8 Coach of the Year candidates this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he brought up looking like a kind of a bum squad to the, to the playoffs. Noticeable names, you got Patrick Beverley, Gallinari's been in and out, floated. He could, be a star at some point. It's like early in his career. I remember when he was on the Knicks, people maybe thought so. But he is, he's fallback. Zubac got traded. The Lakers, I don't understand the Lakers why they did that. How is he? Why is he starting over Harrell? By the way, do you know that? That's kind of interesting.
I think they like Harrell's energy off the bench.
Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking when I saw that. I was surprised, but
him and Lou Williams will run pick and roll when he comes off the bench. Lou Williams, 6th man of the year, by the way.
Yeah, Lou Williams is really good, for sure.
Landry Shamet's a rookie to watch. They have 2 all-rookie guys, most likely. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a borderline first-team all-rookie. Shamet's probably on the second team, 40% three-point shooter. This is a nice team. I just think Golden State's got some...
Yeah, they're just completely outclassed on this one. And Golden State's going to start trying, and we're going to see... I think another side of them. So
we'll wrap the series up real quick. I'm actually going to be generous. I'll give the Clippers a win. I'm going to go Warriors in 5.
All right.
I think because the Warriors are also, I've noticed in the last couple of years, they'll kind of go in regular season mode sometimes in the first round when they get bored.
Yeah, when they know they got them.
And the Clippers are well coached Doc Rivers. I'll give them a win, but that's it. It's going to be Warriors in 5. That'll be a quick series.
All right. Next one we got Rockets Jazz. This one I think is incredibly interesting.
Ooh,
the Jazz. I was looking at their lineup today. They are stacked up, but the Rockets are good too.
I am, as a Rockets fan, I am nervous about the series. I'm very angry with the way the regular season went for us the last 2 nights. Losing that game Tuesday night to Oklahoma City. If we win, we get the 2 seed, and we're playing a Spurs team that's good. But I'd have much more confidence.
Y'all got the matchup with them for sure.
Yeah, Utah is Rudy Gobert is probably Defensive Player of the Year. This team is deep. They've got shooters. Quinn's probably a Coach of the Year candidate. Donovan Mitchell had a great series against us last year, and we played him in the second round last year. We won the series in 5.
Did Rubio got hurt, right?
Rubio did. He got hurt in the first round series last year. I remember.
So it'll be interesting with him back.
Yeah, I remember playing them. It was a 5-game series, but it was a tough 5 games.
Tough one, yeah.
It was a lot of close games.
And they got Korver too now. Not that he's like a huge deal, but he's still,
I remember him from the old Utah days when we had Yao and T-Mac in mid-2000s. That he would frustrate the hell out of me. But Utah's back, and it's a tough one. Harden is. I actually think Giannis is MVP this year. We might get into that later.
You think so? Yeah, okay.
I would lean towards Giannis, but Harden is definitely second. The year he's had has been absolutely insane. And
yeah, it has. I feel like they're talking about him every other day.
Yes, and the thing is, I don't think we have as deep of a roster as we do last year because our owner, University of Houston grad, he just bought the team. He wanted, just buys the team. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to spend any luxury tax money. We'll let Trevor Ariza and Lupa Mute walk.
Yeah,
instead, I'll dump millions of dollars in the University of Houston. It's like, why did you buy the team if you don't want to put any money in your team? He's frustrated me already, but
It seems like they've got it together though. Over the course of the regular season, it was looking pretty bad early on, but it looks like they kind of bounced back.
We have, and our GM Daryl Morey, I think he did another great job this year, finding some cheap signings middle of the season, picking up Kenneth Farid and Austin Rivers. Austin Rivers was a big signing for us because there was a point in the time where we had Paul and Gordon both out, and it was basically hard and no other creators. And he came in and did a great job filling in for Chris Paul. So
yeah, y'all are pretty deep.
We still have a good team. I wish we had another wing defender, which is why Trevor Ariza and/or Bob Mute was still on our team. But I think if I'm going to give a prediction here, I would say Rockets in 6. But Chris Paul's always a ticking time bomb with injuries.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy.
Last year,
I have the Rockets in 7. I think it's going to be a great series. That's one of the ones I'm really looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it's 5 games again. I would be kind of shocked. But 7 wouldn't surprise me either. But
yeah, it's going to be good. And the Rockets, they did kind of mess up towards the end of the regular season because now they're going to be playing the Warriors the next round, and
that's why I wanted a 2 seed.
Yeah,
we really screwed that up. Paul, we had the lead pretty much all game, and then Harden misses one of the 2 free throws. Paul George goes down and hits a 3. And then Harden gets a good look at the end to possibly win and didn't make it. And I will admit, another quick tangent, if Harden makes that shot, there's a chance I talk myself into Harden for MVP as a Rockets fan. But
okay.
Nonetheless, we got to deal with the cards we're dealt. We're a 4 seed, so,
Yeah, it's looking like a tough road, but we'll see. I mean, I think they have the best chance to beat the Warriors out of anybody the Warriors are going to face going forward, but we'll see.
That'll be a hell of a second if it does happen, which I'm not blown by Utah yet. We need to beat Utah first. But if it does happen, that'll be probably one of the better second round series in a long time because that's arguably the 2 best teams in the West again. So
yeah, definitely. I'm excited. I do hope they advance because I definitely want to see Warriors Rockets next round. So we'll move on down to Blazers Thunder. I don't know. This matchup's kind of interesting to me. It sucks the Blazers lost. Who's it? Nurkic. Yeah, it's kind of that's like a huge blow because I was kind of I feel like the Pacers maybe could have at least won a series this year if they would have kept him. But I don't know. I think the Thunder are starting to kind of come together towards the end of the year. It's looking like, and Paul George is starting to look like he's kind of healthy again. I feel like he was looking injured.
Yeah, he was injured for a little while. Well, Tuesday night he looked freaking fine.
Yeah, he looked fantastic.
He looked like nothing was wrong with him Tuesday night. It's a good sign if you're an OKC fan. But
definitely,
I think the Nurkic injury is going to kill Portland.
That's what I think too. I don't think there's any way around that. I think both teams struggle in the playoffs. Paul George never shows up in the playoffs, but neither do the Blazers. So, I mean, they got swept last year by the Pelicans. Mm-hmm. So I got the Thunder in 6. Yeah, in 6.
A quick little tidbit about Nurkic. I was actually looking at NBA.com, and there's a stat for screen assist, which is basically a guy hitting free off a screen, and Nurkic was second in the league in that behind Rudy Gobert per game.
That's pretty big.
I think it's going to be defensively. They struggled even more since he went out, and they're a big pick and roll team with Lillard, and they're big. So losing Nurkic is going to be tough. And also, if you look at the regular season, Oklahoma City won all 4. Paul George went off in a fair amount of those games. I actually may or may not have won a little money wagering on Paul George scoring over a certain amount of points in some of those games.
Nice.
Just because he had the first 2. I think he had one in the over 40, another one was like up 30s. I can't remember exactly what he scored. So
yeah, Paul George is definitely the key to the Thunder's success in the playoffs, without a doubt.
I was actually also listening to one of Zach Lowe's podcasts today, and there was a stat where when Paul George is on the floor, Westbrook isn't on the floor, they're +9 per possession in points per possession, +9 per 100 possessions. When it's Westbrook and no George, they're -8, which was sad to me. That's like I almost couldn't make it because Westbrook has good defensive numbers if you look at it, but I was surprised to hear how bad they were with Paul George off the floor, especially offensively.
Yeah, it's probably more George being off the court than anything.
Which is why he's probably I'd probably rank him 4th, either 3rd or 4th in MVP rankings. Him and Lillard are there, but
yeah, if he wouldn't have had that little slump, he might have won MVP because the Thunder would have won more games.
He definitely would have been. I would still probably would have had Giannis and Harden 1 and 2, but he definitely would have been more in the.
He would have stayed in the conversation.
And I mean, you got to realize that the All-Star break, they were fighting for a 2 or 3 seed at one point.
No, yeah, they were. They were looking really good, and then they kind of fell off, and they were almost at a point where they were almost at the playoffs at one point,
yes,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. For a little while there when Sacramento was still in it.
But,
but in this series, I have Oklahoma City in 6. I think Portland will take a couple at home.
Yeah.
But the Nurkic injury is going to be too big of a blow for them.
Yeah, I agree. I have the same exact thing because I think the Blazers are going to not let themselves get swept like last year, but I don't think they'll win it.
And it's not even Oklahoma City, especially when George isn't on the floor. They're not a super tough team to defend, but I think on the other end they're a really good defensive team, and I think without Nurkic, the pick and roll game goes out a little bit. And I mean, Zach Collins is still a decent pick and pop guy, but I think overall they're just going to be a lot easier for Oklahoma City to guard, and I like Oklahoma City in this series.
Yeah, same here, definitely. So next matchup we got Nuggets versus Spurs. This is another matchup that I think is going to be super interesting. A lot of people are predicting the Spurs to get the upset. I don't think they're going to quite pull it off. I think the Nuggets have it. I think Jokic is just unbelievable. I mean, some of these games I've watched him play this year is just. I mean, he's tremendous. He's one of the European players that are coming in the league are revolutionizing the game. I think it's just that there's going to be more and more of them as the years go by, and it's going to. I don't know how the league's going to be because it's going to be so many 3-point shooters and just bigs being able to do all kinds of stuff.
And also these European guys, they come over because a lot of them, and this might be something we start to see revolve here in America a little more. They come over from playing professional ball overseas as teenagers as opposed to playing high school and college ball here.
Yeah.
It's like Luka comes into the league and Luka's amazing, but he's already been playing pro basketball for
he's already like a Euro champion, right?
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. So not to go on a Luka rant, I'm a really big as a basketball fan, I'm a big fan of him.
He's great.
As a Rockets fan, I hate that he's on Dallas. But
now
Dallas
is going to be dangerous. Dallas is dangerous going forward.
Yeah.
They're gonna be really good.
But they aren't in the playoffs, so they can get put off.
So we don't gotta worry about them. But yeah, I like the Nuggets. I mean, I'm looking at their team. Not that I follow the Nuggets close or anything, but I don't know about you. I don't really see any notable bench players. So
Monte Morris and Beasley can defend people pretty well. Beasley can also shoot a little bit. This was a team down the stretch. They haven't really been playing well. Like they struggled to beat Minnesota Wednesday night. Minnesota had nothing to play for. Denver was trying to get the 2 seed with the win. And Minnesota was also benching like Towns. They were benching Taj Gibson. No Derrick Rose. They were basically playing like their backups and young guys. Denver, Jamal Murray's very up and down season, but Millsap's a solid defensive player. It'll be interesting to see if they can get over their slumps in the second half of the season and get it going for the playoffs. They also are a really good home team, which they'll obviously have home court in this series. I think they were actually below 500 on the road in the regular season, but they were 32-9 or 33-8 or something at home.
Yeah, so they got to 4.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a dogfight of a series. I like Denver in 7 just because I think Jokic is going to be the best player in the series, like you mentioned earlier.
That's what I have too. Denver in 7.
And I think Denver they have a lot of decent players. No other. Paul Millsap's a little old, and the rest of the guys are either young or just kind of like Will Barton's a solid player. You can take guys off the dribble, but overall, I think especially against San Antonio, a team that defends well, Popovich is obviously great coach. This might be one of his best coaching jobs this year because I don't think the team they have this year is incredibly talented. I mean, DeRozan, I don't know. I never know what to think of DeMar DeRozan. Like every now and then he's not.
But, in the playoffs though, he's one of those guys that really doesn't show up.
Aldridge has a good postseason resume. I remember he killed my team a few years ago when he was in Portland. But he's had a decent year, and Derek White's an all-defensive candidate. He's a good perimeter defender. But I mean, you look at this team; they have some shooting too off the bench from Mills and Bellinelli, but. Overall, it's not a super talented team, but they play well as a team. It's the San Antonio system, same old stuff. But you like Denver in this series?
Yeah, biggest thing I see is nobody's going to be able to guard Jokic on this team. I mean, I saw Jakob. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah, it took me a while to get that one.
Okay, so Jakob. Yeah, so he's a 7-footer, so that's good. But I don't know. I think Jokic is going to feast.
And they'll probably probably have Aldridge on Jokic for a good bit, but I'm still, especially at his age, he's still a good defensive player. I'm not saying he's not, but at his age, I'm not sure he's going to keep up with Jokic.
Yeah.
And Jokic is also an underrated defensive player, too. Not bad. And I think Aldridge is a decent matchup for Jokic because Jokic struggles with bigs that kind of move. He can either move, shuffle their feet fast, or also super athletic. Aldridge is none of those things. Neither is Pirtle. So I think this actually might be a weirdly low scoring series. I think both teams are good defensively.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a dogfight, and Nuggets have the home court, the altitude. They have a good home court advantage. I'm going to go Nuggets in 7, but I'm not. Like, I'm looking at the Bovada odds right now, and I'm seeing for the series, San Antonio is plus 190. For those of you who don't know how that works, if it's plus 190 on the odds, it means you bet 100 to win 190. Denver is minus 230, meaning you have to bet 230 to win $100. I think San Antonio is a great value there. I don't like the Denver value at all.
Definitely.
By the way, fun little thing, the Warriors-Clippers series, the Warriors are minus 20,000, meaning you have to bet $20,000 to win $100.
Oh my Lord!
That's
but it is like a free $100.
It is, and it also that's right up Floyd Mayweather's alley. To be honest.
Right? Yeah. Right.
That's like something he would throw like a few million on. Like, I mean, I don't blame him. Like, if I had that kind of money, I would too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially if you can get it back pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, and also, I think Denver. They did look out that I think that the Rockets fell down to 4 if we're looking at the West as a whole now, because we match up well with Denver, and especially if we would have taken care of business and gotten the 2 seed, I don't think there would have been any way in hell Denver would have gotten past us.
I agree. I don't think they could handle the Rockets either. The Rockets have too many shooters and too much. I don't know.
And honestly, even if they did have home court against us, I would still. And this isn't even me trying to be like a biased Rocket.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I agree.
Another reason why I was so mad we dropped is like we couldn't play Denver in the second round.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I know the Warriors are gonna be tough, but at the same time, it depends on how you look at it. You know, it's like if you you got to play the Warriors eventually, probably. So.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna be we might be the only team in the West that can beat them. Oklahoma City, I feel like they have the star power, but I just think they're like a star or really impactful players short.
Yeah, they have I like Schroeder a lot too, coming off the bench. I wanted to ask you one more thing while we're still on the Nuggets is why is Isaiah Thomas not playing? He's just like that bad now.
The hip injury is too bad.
Yeah,
first of all, he already was a terrible defensive player before the hip.
Yeah, he was.
And then the hip injury came. It's a combination of that, his little frame. He just wasn't very impactful. And when we looked at Denver's roster, like I said, like they have. I know they're not a lot of big names, but they have like solid young players: Morris, Beasley, Gary Harris, and Will Barton. Like there's also just too many dudes on that roster that can be more impactful right now for Denver, and we saw it for most of the season. Like, good for most of the season.
It's just so hard to. I don't know. Basketball is one of those sports where players with injuries just fall completely off the earth. You know?
Especially little guys. Like you look at Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson probably had like maybe a 4 or 5 year window where he was a god, and then about 3 or 4 years later he's out of the league. You know?
Yeah.
And some of that was off the court stuff too, but I mean, he also there was a point once he got to like the late 2000s, the dude just couldn't play anymore. You know, it couldn't be impactful. He could, plus the way he played, he liked to drive to the rim a lot and take hits
taking a lot of hits.
That little frame over time, like that never ages well.
Yeah, it's incredible, honestly. I mean, football you see it, but not really nearly as much. You know.
In basketball, it's so different from person to person. Like you'll have your LeBron and Tim Duncans that just don't.
Yeah, they just never get hurt.
They don't get injured. They're durable. They play for forever. And then you also have, unfortunately, your Yao Mings, your Tracy McGrady's, your Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, didn't have the injuries that those two guys have, but just a little frame kind of cut his career short. But yeah,
it's unfortunate. Well, I say we stay on the West and just move through to the championship real quick. We don't have to get too deep into these topics or to these matchups, but we can, touch on what we think who's going to win. So Warriors Rockets, I got the Warriors in 7. I think it's going to be the best playoff matchup of the entire thing, including the championship.
We're agreeing on a lot of stuff here, and I'm going to agree with you again. Like I can't do it. I've heard some big media people actually think that they'll.
I think that's the best chance the Warriors could lose.
In the West, definitely. I think there are Milwaukee. We'll get to the East in a minute. Milwaukee and Toronto are a little interesting, but
they are interesting.
In the West, it's weird because the West is loaded, but there still feels like there's a big barrier between the Warriors and then us to a certain extent, and then the rest of the West. Utah actually might be the third best.
Utah is stacked. Utah is
low key price, especially the way they've been playing. Because not to throw another big nerdy stat at you, but I was looking at post All-Star break net ratings, which is basically how much points you're scoring per possession over how much points your opponent's scoring per possession.
Okay.
And since the All-Star break, Rockets and Jazz are 1 and 2.
Wow.
Like Jazz have been killing it second half. Rudy Gobert has been amazing.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, it's crazy. You look at the way the brackets are set up, and you could argue that the three best teams in the West are all on like the 1, 8, 4, 5 side of it.
You definitely can actually.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the Clips, it's pretty loaded. So yeah, I got them in 7. The Warriors, I don't know. I don't think the Warriors are gonna get beat. But at the same time, last year the Rockets were so close, as you know. And if they can be healthy for that entire series, it's going to be interesting.
And for both Golden State and Houston, I think there's certain X factors to look for with each team. With Houston, I think it really is the injuries because, I mean, if you look at it with and I know we don't have the exact same roster. Trust me, I know. But if you look at last year, if Chris Paul doesn't pull his hamstring, we beat Golden State.
And if they don't go all-time low shooting in 3 points or whatever.
If
those are the two keys of the game.
Exactly.
They're gonna have to outshoot Golden
State.
State.
An anomaly shooting Game 7, and then in Game 6 and 7, even without Paul, people forget this. Both of those games, we had double-digit leads at halftime, and the second half, Golden State just shut us down. Once without Chris Paul, James Harden was our only creator, and they would just swarm. I mean, we have Gordon too, but Gordon is a great third option for us. Second option with Harden, we can make by, but we're not going to beat an elite team like Golden State without Chris Paul and with Gordon as our second option. But that was the two biggest things that happened with that series. And I was saying both teams have an X factor. Golden State's X factor to me is their chemistry.
Definitely their chemistry. They've been kind of fighting. I feel like Kevin Durant's probably going to be gone. I don't know how Boogie really works in this whole equation. I almost feel like they're worse than last year. He just doesn't seem like I don't know. He just doesn't seem to fit. And honestly, I do not like Boogie Cousins, if I'm being completely honest. He walks up and down the court. He's not He's not a hustle center, and that's what I feel like the Warriors really. I mean, they just need that basic center. They got by with Zaza and who's the guy that
they brought Bogut back.
Yeah, they got Bogut. I feel like they'd be better off with Bogut. I could even honestly see them wind up bringing either Boogie off the bench or limiting his minutes pretty heavily.
And then the thing is, a lot of people, and this might sound snobby, but whatever. People who don't follow the league that much, they follow it from a distance. They're kind of casual fans. It's ironic because I'm getting ready to mock an average sports fan. It's the name of the podcast, but. People just look at the Warriors and they say, there's 5 All-Stars. There's 5 All-Stars. They're unbeatable. First of all, Boogie Cousins still isn't totally right from the Achilles injury. Right. He may never be. That's a serious injury. That ended Kobe Bryant's career. It's the same injury he had when 16 years into the league. I know Cousins is a little younger than Kobe was when he tore his Achilles, and then also I agree. You look at the starting 5 of Curry, Thompson, Durant, Draymond Green, and Cousins, and you think, oh my God, that's an incredible lineup. I don't know how Cousins and Draymond play together that well. Both guys are kind of like bigs that like to be secondary ball handlers. Cousins particularly, he stops the ball a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you've got Durant and Curry who also need the ball a lot. If you want me to be totally honest, Kerr is probably going to bring Cousins off the bench.
I think he needs.
He's going to fill in a lot of the minutes that either Draymond or Durant aren't on the floor, and he also might play with Livingston to give Curry a breather a lot too. You might see that lineup out there, but at the end of the day, Golden State's best lineup. I think as old as Andre Iguodala is. I still think their best lineup is Curry, Thompson, Iguodala.
Definitely. Iguodala is way too good for general, and he just, he can do it all. He can pass, he can run up the court, fast break, all that stuff, and he's a great defender.
Plus, Boogie is also easier to double with the 5 all-star lineup, quote unquote. Boogie's easier to guard in that lineup because you can kind of shade Draymond's guy over to Boogie. Because Draymond, I don't know what the hell happened to his jump shot. But the last 2 years, like he really can't shoot that much anymore. Really,
it's like people not guarding him got in his head, and now he really can't shoot.
Exactly. So
yeah.
Those are interesting to watch, and that's why those are some of the things that I think Kerr has probably got that figured out. I think he's actually an underrated coach. A lot of people just assume, you have all that talent, he should win.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach too because he doesn't stir any trouble. Like he stays zen and he handles everything. I feel like in the locker room, he doesn't he doesn't talk bad about his players either, like openly and stuff, which I think is a huge deal, especially with players like that. There's a ton of divas in that locker room in particular. So
and people forget this too, but he was the one. Because when he first got there, they were not starting Draymond Green. David Lee was starting instead of Draymond Green.
Really?
And he was the one that was like, you know what? I think Draymond Green is the guy we need. Part of it he did discover this partially because of a David Lee injury, but from things that I've heard, he was thinking this a little bit even beforehand. Like, Draymond Green, we need to start him. He's a big that can switch on anybody. He's one of the best defensive players in the league. He also has the ability to create a little bit offensively, and he made that decision. That's what took off with Golden State. Because remember the year before with Mark Jackson, they were a playoff team, but
they were pretty good, but they were they were one step away.
Exactly,
for sure.
Kerr comes in, he makes those adjustments. First year there, they won 67 games and won a title. So I think he's probably got those things figured out, which is why I'm not getting my hopes up too much. Fan, but.
It's going to be a great series.
You never know, man.
No matter what.
It could take an injury, and I don't wish injuries on anybody, but all it takes is an injury here and there. Or,
the Rockets just can outscore anybody. That's the thing.
Yes.
That's why they could win. They can outscore the Warriors. If they're hidden, they could win. Scoring teams like that can win on any night if they're hidden. So
Daryl Morey gained the man. Is basically, it's a simple concept. 3s are more than 2, and when you're playing a team that's way more talented than you, the only way you switch up the variance of the game is you shoot more 3s, and that's where you see upsets with teams that are less talented. They just hit a ton of 3s that can tilt the game. So
definitely 3s are huge.
Yep.
So then next matchup, I think we both had Thunder Nuggets. So
yep.
I just picked the Thunder for this one. I mean, I definitely want to see these playoff matchups. I had them in 7 winning this. I don't know. I think the Thunder could beat the Nuggets. I don't think the Nuggets are deep from what we've seen. And I think Steven Adams is a decent defender. I don't know if he's going to really stack up with Jokic, but I think he can maybe slow him down a little bit.
Another defensive
so I don't know.
series.
We'll see. Yeah.
It's Oklahoma City, offensively, even with George on the court, sometimes they're a little challenged. But that's a very interesting. I never really, actually didn't even give much thought going into this, but Oklahoma City, Denver playing around too. But
Schroeder's good in the playoffs too.
Yeah.
If I remember him on the Hawks doing some damage in the playoffs.
And actually, and this is very rare for me because I know whoever's listening to this might not know this, but I've never been a huge Westbrook fan.
Yeah.
And this year, his shooting numbers have been atrocious.
Yeah.
With saying that, I actually think he's been a little better this year in terms of he's done a better job of setting the table for other people and deferring to other guys at times. And part of that is you see in the lineups when he plays with Schroeder. Sometimes, if guys are focusing on him or he's, not shooting, well, he hasn't been shooting well most of the season. That's a lot of games. But, he'll defer to Schroeder every now and then when Schroeder has a good matchup and let him run a little pick and roll with Adams and try to run some action and get some easy baskets. He still jacks up dumb shots and does Russell Westbrook stuff, but
I think if Westbrook did have the jumper, he'd probably be a shooting guard. I don't know.
If Westbrook was shooting well this year, that team would be scary.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how good they've been with Paul George on the floor offensively, even without because if you look at that roster in general, pull up Oklahoma City's depth chart. I mean, they have Ferguson, who's an okay shooter. Jeremy Grant is a kind of a stretch for every now and then. He can hit a 3, but not very consistent. There's not a lot of shooting on this team at all, really, if you look at it. So
yeah, Nerlens Noel's not bad off the bench.
Yeah, so
Markieff. I forget they have Markieff.
Nerlens Noel's actually had a little bit of a resurgence.
Yeah, he's looked decent this year. I've seen him in a couple games. Markieff's not terrible. I mean, he's a decent player.
There's a lot of good. Like I said, this is why you definitely see why this is a good defensive team. There's a lot of good defensive players on this team. But
man, and Roberson's a third on the third team. Wow.
that guy.
I guess because of his free throws, huh?
Well, he still hasn't been playing
Oh,
at all.
okay.
He's still injured. He's probably not.
He had a bad injury, huh?
It was a leg injury. I forgot specifically
what
it was.
That, yeah.
I don't think he's going to be back at all this year. I'm
No.
looking right here. Yeah, he's been out indefinitely since October. So. Yeah,
so who would you pick between Thunder Nuggets if you had to pick now?
One.
I mean, I think once we see the matchups and see the games, we'll have a much better idea who we want. But I think it's fun to predict early.
It's gonna be a back and forth series early on, and I think in Game 5, Paul George is gonna have a big moment, and they'll take Game 5 in Denver, and then they'll go home and close it out. So I have Oklahoma City in 6.
Okay.
But that's interesting. I could definitely see, and also part of the thing with Denver is, and I'm not even necessarily holding it against them. We just don't know with Denver is how is that team going to react to playoff pressure.
Right.
You know, and like I said, I think it's wrong for some people to assume that they're not going to be. Oh, they haven't been in the playoffs before. So like everybody has to have their first playoff moment at some point. Some guys thrive under that. So
yeah,
I'm not holding that. I'm not necessarily holding that against Denver, but I also don't want to take I don't want to take a big leap of faith with them yet either.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go.
Here.
All right, we're agreeing a lot here. I'm going to go Oklahoma City again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I'm sure, I mean, we can just tap on this because I'm sure we're both picking the Warriors.
Against Oklahoma City, they just don't have
completely outclassed. I think the Rockets series is going to be way better. The Warriors are just going to take
I think Oklahoma City, there'll probably be one game where Paul George goes off and he wins that for him.
Yeah, I got them winning 2, but I don't think it's going to really be that close.
And there could be another game where either Paul George goes off again, or maybe Westbrook has a big game and does Westbrook stuff, and maybe baits Draymond or Cousins into doing something stupid.
Yeah,
that's happened before Draymond, as we all know. But
yeah, of course.
the reference to LeBron dick punch from 2016.
I know, terrible.
I'm. That series wouldn't go. That series would go 6 at the very longest, not any longer than that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, we can move on to the East then. We're gonna just jump right in. We got Bucks Pistons. I don't know. I haven't really heard much of the Pistons. I know they got Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's been hurt though, right? He's gonna be coming back.
That is a big thing. There's a lot of injuries in the series in general. Blake Griffin had the knee injury. He should be back for the start of the playoffs, I would assume, because they benched him last night in their season finale against New York. And, of course, they still won by 20 because the Knicks are terrible. And they got the 8 seed. But, it's still up in the air. Let me look at Don Best. Right now on DonBest.com, Detroit does not have any injuries listed. So I guess he's fine for now unless something else comes up. So he should be all right for the start of the series. How healthy will he be, even if he does play, is a different question. And to be honest with you, even if he is healthy,
it's not going to matter.
This Pistons team is, and I will say this: Milwaukee has some injury concerns of their own, and I actually think this is a really good draw for them because
Brogdon's out, right?
Brogdon's out. Mirotic is still a little questionable.
Yeah, I forgot they had Mirotic.
So is Tony Snell as well. He's a key 3-and-D guy for them. The thing is, if they would have gotten Brooklyn or Orlando, I'm not saying they would have gotten upset, but I think there would have been some tough games in that series. Detroit, this isn't a good team. I'm sorry.
It's interesting how far the center has fallen. Like Andre Drummond is a premier center in the league, top 5 probably, top 3 maybe even center wise.
He picked it up a little bit post All-Star break,
but it's just insane how little they
little
really aren't. They don't have that much impact on the game. I mean, they do, but they don't. Their importance is they're basically the 4th guy on a championship team. You know what I mean? Like the Rockets have Capella, but they also have Harden and Paul. So he's the 3rd guy. They're never going to be the first. They're never going to be the best player on a team.
Not yet. Now I will say this: the ones that do have a big impact, like your Embiid, LeBrons or your Jokic's.
Well, right. I'm talking about like the pure,
like a true,
the pure
like, old
center,
school
like the
center
Hassan Whiteside, the Drummond.
Oh yeah,
like,
the guys that can't
the
like
DeAndre Jordan who doesn't even play now. Apparently, like it's crazy.
Yeah. Really,
like,
Embiid is probably your only like prototype center that still has a big effect on the game.
But he can shoot though too,
and
he's got some handles.
He can
shoot.
Like. But he does post up a lot. He does.
He does have great post moves,
like your traditional center does.
Right. He can do both. I would say that's probably why. But I feel like Jokic can do both. I feel like Jokic has some decent post moves.
Jokic a little bit. He's more of a play in front of him kind of guy. But he has some post moves. Jokic, the thing I love about him, he can do everything offensively.
He just has fundamentals. That's the thing about all the Euro guys. They all have amazing fundamentals. They can just do all the little things right, which is huge.
Luka already looks like Lithuanian Larry Bird. 19.
Yeah.
So, it is crazy, but I'm gonna. You know what? Even with the injuries, I'm going Bucks sweep here.
Okay, I got Bucks in 5. I think it's gonna. I don't know. I think they're gonna handle business. I'm excited to see Blake Griffin though and Drummond just because I haven't. You don't really see the Pistons. So
I was about to say
kind of fun to see him on TV at least.
Yeah, if they do win a game, it's gonna be a Blake Griffin goes off game, which he has had that this year, and actually I think he should be third team All-NBA. I think he's been one of the 15 to 20 best players this year.
Okay.
The problem is the rest of that roster is just...
Yeah, and he's in Detroit. Like, nobody hears about Detroit. No. If he would be fun to be on on a team that's competing. That would be really exciting to see. Yeah. Like, I don't know, more Blake Griffin. But
although it could be the Thon Maker revenge series, I guess.
Oh yeah, Thon Maker. Is he healthy? Is he gonna be healthy?
He doesn't play much for the team.
No.
It shows how much of a disaster.
Yeah, it looks like Zaza's ahead of him.
Zaza's breaking. Like it doesn't take much to break the Pistons' rotation if you're looking at it, and Maker sort of doesn't get that many minutes.
Who did they trade for Maker again?
I want to say, was it Ilyasova was in that trade? I can't remember. Okay. It may have been Ilyasova and some other pieces. Ilyasova's having a decent year for Milwaukee, but
that's an interesting trade.
But I think this is going to be like I said, it could be Pistons could take a game, and even with the Bucks need to make sure Brogdon can get healthy for the later rounds because they're going to need him. I definitely think they would need him to beat Toronto. They're not beating Toronto.
How long is he supposed to be out for?
Some people said when he got hurt, which was I think beginning of March, I want to say it was 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
So the prognostication originally was he was going to be out the first round, and then maybe the whole second round, or might come back in the second round. So something around that. So.
All right. We'll move on to the Celtics Pacers. This is a series I'm actually super excited about, and I could easily see the Celtics losing this series. Pacers looked incredible last year against the Cavs, and I don't know. I really like their team. If they had Oladipo, they would be able to, I think, win at least a round.
If they would have gotten Oladipo, they probably would be the 3 seed.
True, yeah.
Or at the very least,
they would have won a lot more
games in the series.
But
they wouldn't have been up there at Milwaukee or Toronto. But.
Looking at their lineup, though, they Darren Collison's not a bad point guard, and Corey Joseph's a decent backup.
Off the bench
I love Bogdanovich. That dude is just a warrior. He battles every single game. He always makes clutch threes. He's great. That Miles Turner is also another player that I really like.
He's a Player of the Year candidate.
And I really like Sabonis. Sabonis off the bench is ridiculous. He's another guy that I really like. So I think this Pacers team could win. I do have the Celtics winning, but I mean Marcus Smart's out. So he's gonna be out for 3 weeks.
Smart's out for at least the first round, maybe the second round.
So that's gonna be that's 3 to 6 weeks. That's a huge deal for them. And the Celtics are just they're so I don't know. They're all selfish and they all just want to be the star. I feel Kyrie's so arrogant, and it makes all the other players like, no, I feel like it makes everybody else act out because they're just like, no, I'm not like following this guy. I want to be the star. And
if it wasn't for the Anthony Davis clutch disaster, Kyrie would probably have had like the weirdest season of anybody this year. All the stuff coming. He just talks about leadership in the open public openly while berating guys on the floor.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Not getting back on defense. Like there's numerous. They had a game in
passive
March.
Aggressive.
The passive aggressive stuff drives me up a wall. It's probably my single least favorite thing about LeBron James, but I'm not going down that road because LeBron James isn't in the playoffs. But nonetheless, There was a game in March where Boston was down 19, I think it was, to Charlotte in the fourth quarter. Charlotte comes back and wins the game. And after the game, Kyrie Irving's in the post-game presser, and he makes just one of the classic passive aggressive. Like, it should have been a tweet, I think. LeBron would have probably liked it more if it had been a tweet. But LeBron, Kyrie Irving basically calls out the coach like, yeah, well, if we would have been trapping Kemba like most teams in the league do, it would have been all right. It's like, dude, there's footage of you in that game in the fourth quarter, not getting back in transition, giving Kemba a wide open shot. There's another play where he half-ass closes out Kemba in the corner. Kemba just blows right by him on the baseline. It's like, dude, even whether you want to trap or not, that's a different discussion. But you're gonna try to call out your defensive strategy against Kemba while also not giving a flying fuck on defense and getting back and guarding get the hell out of here.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It really is insane. It's like people don't understand leadership is by you have to your actions. Yeah, you have to right. Like you have to be something that people want to follow. You can't just be like I'm the leader because I'm the best player. Like, nah, dude. Like I don't want to follow you now because you're arrogant.
People, you respect people, you keep things.
You build people up. You don't try to act like you're better than everybody else. Like I mean, during the regular season, they had so much time to build. Why could Kyrie not take a step back? Like, why couldn't he just? I don't know. Instead, he's like, these young players need to know their role.
I think it's had an awful effect on Jason Tatum's game. Jason Tatum has not had a good season.
Well, Jason Tatum and Brown, I feel like I feel like they were two of the hottest names at the end of the playoffs last year. I feel like everybody wanted them. I feel like they're super young. Everybody was saying that they could both be, top 5, top 10 players in the league. And now, I mean, you're still hearing about Tatum, but I haven't really heard much about Jaylen Brown this year.
Jaylen Brown picked it up a little bit down the stretch, second half of the season. First half of the season, he couldn't hit the side of a barn anywhere on the court. But Jason Tatum it was crazy because last year in the playoffs, he looked like he was the second coming of Paul Pierce. Like, he was amazing in the playoffs last year. But then this year, obviously, with NBA players, progress isn't always linear. Some guys will have random regressions, either injuries or whatnot. And I'm not blaming Kyrie totally for Tatum. Some of it's just him just not being aggressive enough as he should be. That's another problem I have with Tatum's game. I don't think he's nearly as aggressive as he should be. Doesn't take as many shots, doesn't force the issue as much. But part of that, I just think it's just there's bad chemistry. Kyrie, I mean, he should stop the ball sometimes. He is a very talented ISO scorer. He's probably the second most talented ISO scorer in the game behind Harden.
I agree.
In my opinion,
I agree.
So I mean, I'm not saying he should never do that, but I think it's more of the everyday leadership things he talks about, and I feel like he doesn't get Tatum involved in the game as much. He could make more of an effort to get him more involved. But what were you gonna say?
Yeah, well, it's crazy to me that he doesn't realize he's doing exactly what LeBron did to him when he wanted that. He's doing the same thing. He's basically just holding the team hostage and saying, I feel like he's definitely gonna leave. I feel like unless they make it to the championship, he's gone. There's no way he's staying. He thinks he's better than everybody, and it's just amazing to me. He's doing something that LeBron did to him that made him leave the team.
And also, he even felt the need to come out to the media. I love how he comes out to the media with all this too. It's sometimes dude, shut the fuck up and keep stuff internal.
Yeah, I don't.
He even feels the need to come out to the media and it's well, I called LeBron last night. He said, I apologize to you, man. I'm sorry. I wasn't leaving. It's first of all, no one gives a flying fuck.
I know. Why are you telling other people you apologize to somebody?
Why are you making a point to this in the media?
Who does that?
What if you to your team? You think your other teammates are gonna look at this he realized.
What a guy! Yeah.
What a guy! No one's that.
No, he's. I don't know. I'm sure once he leaves the Celtics, every one of those players are gonna be happy.
I can't wait till he gets to deal with James Dolan in New York. That's gonna be fantastic.
I think that would be funny if he did go to New York. But.
Really, quick tangent. We'll get back on track soon, but I'm mind-boggled as a wide super Kevin Durant. I hope Kevin Durant goes to New York and Kyrie. Kyrie, I'm impartial of, but I hope Kevin Durant goes to New York. It takes him off the freaking Warriors. But I'm mind-boggled at these stars that not only always think the grass is green on the other side, and I'm not trying to go on a tangent players should switch teams. players absolutely should switch teams if they're situated.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis should be leaving New Orleans. I think personally New Orleans has done an absolutely
he definitely should.
horrendous job to put in his team. Now the way he went about it this year,
exactly.
I don't agree with.
Yeah,
but
if he would have waited till the end of the year,
Yeah.
then everyone already knew he was leaving.
Yes.
It would have been fine. I don't know why. I don't know who gave him that advice, but it was horrible advice. You can listen to other podcasts. I went on a tangent about it, but that was just this. It honestly hurt his image. It hurt LeBron's image. It hurt Rich Paul's image. It hurt everybody's image.
It also killed 2 teams.
Yeah, and it destroyed 2 teams. Got a president gone and a GM gone. I mean, it destroyed. Yeah,
and so it's not like it's not like the Lakers and Pelicans were going to be title contenders without all that mess.
But honestly, though, it's insane because both teams were competing before they did that. Both teams were identical almost. LeBron got hurt and Anthony Davis got hurt, and the teams pretty much tanked after that happened. I mean, the Pelicans weren't doing great, but Anthony Davis was hurt all the time. And then they wanted to do the trade. It's why your teams were doing fine before that. The Lakers probably would have. The Lakers would have made the playoffs, I think, if they wouldn't have done all that.
Oh yeah, and the injury to LeBron too didn't help their playoff hopes.
No, it didn't. But I mean, they won. Once he won, the chemistry was over. But yeah.
Going back to the New York thing, I am just mind-boggled at how many stars, I guess I haven't been a ton over the last few years, but why are Durant and/or Kyrie just so quick to want to leave the team that they're at now, that are much better situations to go to that mess?
See, I don't.
That owner who is probably the craziest owner in the NBA.
Yeah. So my theory, he's terrible, and he's the reason why they've been so bad for so long. But I don't understand why Kyrie would. Kyrie has a lot to prove. Kyrie needs to win. But my thing about Durant is Durant. I get why Durant wants to go because Durant's coming for LeBron/Jordan. Not that he'll ever get there, but I think if he let's say he wins 3 or 4 more in Golden State and he has 7 or something, people are just gonna be like, you're banned. You didn't earn there are asterisks next to those. But if a team wins, if he goes to the Knicks and wins 1, or goes to the Knicks and wins 2 or something. Exactly. So that's why. Exactly. So that's why I think what I think he wants.
That makes sense.
Because he'll already have 3 championships, which is as many as LeBron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll have 3, and then if he goes to the Knicks, he'll be like a god, like you're saying. And I mean, I feel like most people should at least acknowledge they're never going to catch Jordan, but at least for now.
Oh, me and one of our friends, Richard, had a big Jordan LeBron.
That's what y'all were arguing about. I don't even think it's close, man. I really don't.
Well, that was half of the argument. The other half was a Manny Breeze argument, which I don't even know why I try to have that argument with people. This isn't a football podcast. I'm not talking about football, but I'm not going down the rabbit hole. But that's such a ridiculous argument. But like I said, stick to basketball. I think with the Durant thing, I mean, I get why, like you said, I get why you want to leave. And also it makes sense because Durant is also a dude that, and this is one of the things that drives me crazy about him the most. There was one point in time where I'm not as big of a Durant fan now, a combination of, it's not even him going to Golden State as much as obviously I'm a Rockets fan, so the rivalry started. And also, I just think he's way too bitchy and moody, to be honest.
He is. Him and Kyrie are they've been the same this year. And Durant is such a fake tough guy. He really is. He's the definition of a fake tough guy. He thinks he's so now that he has all these people that have his back, I don't know. He thinks he can just talk to people however he wants and stuff.
And at the
he's
same
nuts.
time, he cares so much about what other people think of him.
I know.
And that's why he wants to go to. That's why he wants to go to New York because he's tired of people saying, "Oh, well, you're ring." Like you were just saying, he's tired of people telling him.
I don't know why he went to the Golden State and didn't think that was going to happen.
Exactly. And honestly, I'm even one of the few people where even though, as a fan, I didn't like that he went to Golden State, but I understood why he did it. Not just for a basketball career standpoint. You want to win. First of all, he didn't want to play with Westbrook anymore, which I totally understand.
Yeah, especially
I can see Westbrook being a real pain in the ass.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But also, you go to a team, you know everyone's going to share the ball. As much as I don't like the Warriors, they do play an amazing style of basketball. They're great to watch. As a basketball fan, I respect the hell out of the way they play the game. But if you're Durant, you're playing with this team, they're going to be really fun to play with. You're going to, and if you go talking about off the court stuff, you're going to Silicon Valley. You're going to have a lot of opportunities out there to make investments in tech or whatnot and improve your life off the court. So all those reasons, I completely understand why he went to Golden State. Now I'm like, why do you care so much about what other people think? Because you have it so good at Golden State.
Why did he go to Golden State if he knows it? He should be more self-aware to know that he cares that much about what people think. Like, come on,
Stay
dude.
the hell with him. Like, you're still gonna be the best player.
And every time he reacts, people freaking people like talk about it all day on ESPN and stuff. It's like, dude, if you don't want people to do that, stop doing it.
You shouldn't
stop reacting.
You shouldn't went to Golden State to begin with. And like, dude, you're the best player on not only the best team in basketball right now, but one of the best teams of all time. Like, Golden State's an amazing team. And you fit. And it was one of the rare things, too, where a team signed a star, and he actually fit right in, right away with the team. Usually with stars, when you bring in with other guys, it might even, like with the Miami Heat, it took them
he just seamlessly flew in.
He just went right. It was like getting a version of Harrison Barnes that could
make every single shot, and play better defense.
Exactly. Like,
it's pretty insane.
I don't know why. I mean, like I said, I know why, but it's just crazy that he's willing to throw all of that away to go to this franchise that is just so dysfunctional.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever win one in New York. That's the problem. But I think if he really does want to be considered better than LeBron, which I think there's definitely a real possibility of that at the end of his career.
All right, wanting that challenge of winning one with that team is the one part of that I do kind of see and do respect. Because winning one in New York, you would be awesome.
It would be insane.
Like, you would be a god. Like, and also, I know we care. You shouldn't care about what other people think, but
he clearly does. That's what I'm saying.
He clearly does. So. And if you win one in New York, people are gonna forget about, like, oh, you snaked that.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, well, he did prove it. Like, that's gonna be when the argument happens about him and LeBron. People are gonna be like, well, he did prove it. Like, he won one by himself on this. Like, he took this. It's basically like he's gonna be doing the LeBron back to Cleveland thing, except for he's gonna have 3 already, and LeBron had only 2.
Exactly.
So it's gonna be the same thing, except for he's gonna have 1 more. So that's why I think he's gonna do it.
And it's like New York is such a big basketball town. They have a great fan base there. Like,
they do. They just their owner's just garbage. Yeah, but there's rumors of Jeff Bezos buying it. So I don't know if you ever heard of that. Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I don't know serious. I don't know how serious they are, but I mean,
I've heard rumors that he might be looking to sell the team because he owns the team and the arena and all the entertainment that goes on in the arena. And so from what I hear, he wants to kind of focus more on that unless he's kind of might be getting a little tired of the sports aspect of it. But I didn't know Jeff Bezos was one of the...
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. So he's got the money. So
okay.
All right. Well,
that was way too much Knicks talk for a playoff.
Yeah, we ran off the rails. Kyrie kind of does that with people. Yeah. But so I got the Celtics in 7. I don't know what you got. You got the same.
Yeah. Celtics in 7. Like,
pretty close.
It's that series is going to be, to me, a little similar, and obviously it's different because there's no LeBron and Indiana's on Oladipo. I think it's going to be a little similar to the Cleveland-Indy series last year.
I do too. That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. The Pacers got a lot of fighters. They're not going to just...
The Pacers' problem in the series, and I think it's why they're not going to win, they just don't have especially without Oladipo, they really don't have a go-to guy.
Yeah,
and Boston is a pretty disciplined defensive team. Now, granted, losing Marcus Smart's going to hurt that a little bit. But they're still even without Marcus Smart, they're still a pretty disciplined defensive team. And I just think Indiana in crunch time is going to have a hard time scoring. But
yeah, I agree.
It's going to be a close series. It's gonna be, like I said, I agree going 7. I think it's going to be a long series.
All right, so next we got about 10, 15 minutes left until I'm going to have to leave. So we'll just run through these real quick.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we're like about an hour deep.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Yeah, pretty good for our first one.
Yeah.
So we got Sixers Nets. This is going to be another fun series. The Sixers are loaded, but they just I don't know what it is it seems like something's missing. I don't know if it's chemistry issues or what, but it seems like they should be better than they are.
Yeah. Now, also remember in the series, Embiid might not play Game 1.
Yeah.
He will be back eventually. It's not a serious injury. He will be back in the series, but Game 1, his status is still up in the air.
Yeah, and I mean, they look good. The Nets have been looking good.
The Nets, I think D'Angelo Russell, this has been, like, I don't think this season could have gone much better for D'Angelo Russell than it did this year. Because not only is he having a good year,
yeah, it really did.
Brooklyn's doing well, but then you just look at the mess that he got traded from a few years ago. And it's just like it's got to be a great feeling if you're him. Like you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Lakers are gone in shambles.
The Lakers are trash, and it just makes me so happy.
Everybody's like, he's like, you traded me because of Nick Young, like because of that dude, Swag P. Like that's really why they traded him, which is hilarious. And then
what happened to the Lakers this year is fantastic. But
it really is. And I like Jared Allen a lot. That dude is a beast. That dude is just a defensive monster.
Yes,
he has so many good.
Joe Harris, I think may have led the league in 3-point percentage. I'm not sure. He was like upper 40s at some point in the season. He was a 3-point shooting champion. I mean, it's just an all-star event. But I mean, dude's a knockdown shooter. Dude's an excellent shooter.
Carroll's not bad.
May have also won a little wager on Joe Harris winning the contest.
Nice.
But Jared Allen's an interesting big. I mean, I don't think he's gonna like stop Embiid at all. But dude's a little energetic.
He'll slow him down a little bit. Yeah.
Karooks can shoot. He's like a stretch four. Dinwiddie had one game against the Rockets that he single-handedly beat us when they had like a double digit. Now, granted, the Rockets blow leads left and right this year. That's been their thing. But Dinwiddie had one game where he single-handedly scored like 16 points in the fourth quarter in overtime, and they wound up coming back from behind to beat us in overtime in Houston. Dinwiddie's a player to watch in this series. They have some dudes in the backcourt that are very interesting with the Russell Dinwiddie combo. And is Karis LeVert healthy? He's an interesting player too if he's healthy. Apparently, yeah, he is. So this is going to be a series. I could definitely see this Philly starting slow in this series, and everybody panicking like, "Holy hell, what's wrong with the Sixers?" Yeah. But then Embiid will get healthier as the series goes on, and he'll eventually just be unstoppable.
They just have so much more
They just have more talent.
Yeah, way more talent. Their starting five is insane.
I think from a chemistry standpoint, not even like locker room nastiness, just a strict on the court basketball chemistry. It's a weird team. A lot of individually talented players. But I'm not sure. There might be a little too many chefs in the kitchen syndrome.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too.
It's and Embiid needs his post touches.
Yeah.
But even Tobias Harris every now and then. And they also don't have much of a bench, which doesn't really help either.
True. I like Boban. He's not great, but I like him. Boban's fucking huge, man.
The Boban. That dude is. They have James. That's right. They have James Ennis. God, what a bum. I am so happy the Rockets.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Rockets.
He was atrocious with us early in the season. And this is probably why we got off to a slow start because we had the Melo Enos combination.
Yeah, y'all had Melo. That was a terrible idea. Who's not even in the league anymore. Yeah. I don't even think he'll ever play again, which is probably funny. Which is just so weird to me, but also hilarious.
Yeah,
he seems like a player that would fit perfectly in today's NBA. Almost.
He should, and he really
just
should.
Doesn't.
Because all he could do now is he actually did this well in the Olympics. He would just be the corner 3 guy that.
Right, I'm surprised he doesn't do that. But I feel like he's sluggish. You know, if he was like Klay Thompson, like ran, but
he's also one of those dudes too that's kind of even a businessman a little more than he is a basketball player. That's the reason why he stayed in New York so long because he could have left midway through his time in New York when it was clear the team was going nowhere. And I just think he wanted to resign in New York. He wanted to stay in New York, do endorsement deals, the whole big market stuff. And I just think he's a little more focused on life out of basketball at this point. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. So I got. What do you got? What do you got the Sixers in? Or do you got
Sixers and 6?
Saying I got the same thing. Man, it's interesting. We had like similar things.
Yeah.
Completely filled this out.
It'll be like I said. It'll be a little competitive in the beginning, but I think the Sixers' talent will eventually.
Yeah, I had the same thought.
I'm more worried about them going forward in the later rounds when they're playing really good teams.
And I kind of think the Nets might get a game or 2 early too. And then
especially, if Embiid don't play game 1, it could very well be they might steal the first game on the road. So
So last matchup we got Raptors Magic. I think the Raptors are going to destroy the Magic. I don't really think I'm surprised the Magic honestly made it to the playoffs personally.
Look, Orlando, congratulations on making the playoffs.
And somehow they get the 6th seed. Like that's crazy, right? Or no, they have the 7th, but they almost have the 6th. But that's still like it's insane that they just snuck in and then still gotta.
Vucevic, you bumped up your defense.
Yeah, Vucevic's good.
He had a good year.
But that's the only player I really even know much about on this team.
And actually, DJ Augustine actually showed a little.
DJ's been a solid NBA player.
He's a solid NBA player.
He's like the definition of average. I feel like
I mean, he was
He's
not
never
that
been
Charlotte's
great.
any good, but I was actually watching their game Charlotte Wednesday night, and he was on fire.
Really?
And he's been shooting all right this year. He's had one of his best shooting seasons. Probably this might be his best season as a pro, but you look at the rest of the team. I mean, Fournier and Ross can shoot, but Isaac's still very young. Aaron Gordon frustrates the hell out of me.
Why is that?
I think he should be so much better than he is. I think he should not necessarily equivalent to Blake Griffin. He should be Blake Griffin-ish, and he's not strong enough down low. Not quite strong enough down low. He doesn't finish well at the rim. He doesn't shoot as well as I think he should because he has decent form, and he frustrates the hell out of me. But he'll be all right. He'll be all right in the series, but Toronto's too good. I think Toronto's going to sweep him.
Okay.
I love Toronto.
I like Toronto a lot
awesome.
too. I got Toronto at 5.
I'm going sweep.
All right, so I guess real quick we'll just run through because I'm about to have to leave. So Bucks Celtics, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Bucks, even though there might not be Brogdon for the series. The Celtics might not have their best perimeter defender in Smart, and I don't like their chemistry. I'm gonna go Bucks in 5.
Okay, that's good. That's a good pick. I got Bucks in 6. I think the Bucks are gonna dominate. I think Giannis reminds me of like a young LeBron. I feel like he can will a team forward.
I think
they have some decent players on that team.
Yeah,
so.
the one thing in this series that could extend it a little bit is if Stevens decides to implement some kind of crazy zone defense to try to slow down Giannis.
Slow him down, yeah.
The Bucks are really well coached. I think Budenholzer will have a counter for it, and the Bucks are just too talented, and the Celtics are a mess.
Yeah, I don't think they're going far. Yeah, I agree. And then Sixers, Raptors.
I think Toronto's going to smoke them.
Okay.
I have Toronto in 5.
All right, that's an interesting matchup. I got Toronto in 7. I do really, really like the Raptors. I just think that the Sixers are going to find their flow at that point in the playoffs, and give them a run for their money.
I still need to see it from Ben Simmons in the playoffs. And I'm actually more of a Ben Simmons defender. I'm a give him time kind of guy. Like, I think just let him try to develop more scoring and shooting skills. I don't know if it'll ever happen. But for now, I still haven't seen it. I think he's too easy to guard, especially in a playoff series where coach, in the playoffs, you don't play you play at least once every other night. If not, you got more rest. And you can game plan solely on one team and certain players.
Yeah, it's way different.
I think he's just, especially when you get later on in a playoff series, you kind of saw it against Boston last year. They just knew how to guard him as the series went on, and he didn't do much. And Toronto's got some dudes.
They're talented.
On the perimeter.
They're talented.
Between Siakam, Kawhi Leonard, Danny Green, that team is loaded on the
stacked.
perimeter. I just think that's and I think Philly's a good team, but it's a bad matchup. I like Toronto in 5.
All right, who you got? Bucks, Raptors, Eastern Conference Finals.
That's a heavyweight battle.
I think that's going to be a great matchup. Yeah,
that's a great series. That's better than the Oklahoma City Golden State thing we had in the West Finals.
Yeah, I agree.
Milwaukee will have the home court, but I like Toronto in 6. I like the Raptors too much.
I got the Raptors in 7. I like the Raptors a lot. I just think Kawhi Leonard's been there, done that. He's cool, calm, collected, and they got a ton of talent on that team to surround him with.
Like you said, they have Kawhi. They have the star. They have the star power. They have a guy that can get them a basket anytime they want. And I just think they're deeper than Milwaukee. So.
Yeah, I agree. I could see Milwaukee somehow doing it because, like I said, Giannis kind of reminds me of young LeBron, but I do think the Raptors just have him. And Kawhi's kind of a kryptonite for players like that, I feel like. So.
Exactly. And they have other, Siakam's even. Siakam's every bit as long as Kawhi Leonard. You could switch. You could have those guys split time on Giannis to keep them fresh both on defense. So I just like Toronto too much. I like that roster. And they're well cut. I like Nick Nurse. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah, he's done a good job filling it. And then we got Warriors Raptors for the finals. I got Warriors in 7. I think that's going to be another great series. The Raptors to me are the second biggest threat to the Warriors next to the Rockets. I think the Raptors. I could see them winning this series. Well, I could see the Warriors by the time they battle their way through the West. Feeling like they won already. Mm-hmm. And I could see the Raptors kind of shocking them a little bit.
Toronto will have home court if this series happens. They have a better record.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they do have a good home court advantage, too. They get good crowds up there in Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto's like a pain apparently to go through customs and all that. So.
Yep. God, I want to pick the Raptors so bad.
I wanted to
for
too.
numerous reasons. One, obviously, I obviously want the Rockets to win, but I'd also just like to see anyone other than Golden State win again. And then two, like I just like the way that team is built. And it would also, another reason why I would like to see Toronto win it is it would make the offseason a little more interesting.
Yeah, it would make it incredibly interesting.
If they make the finals alone, I think it'll be a decision for Kawhi. But if they win the title, like that's a real decision.
If they win, I don't see how he leaves.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If they lose in the finals, it'd be like 50-50, I think. Maybe 60-40 in favor of him leaving. But I'm going to go.
Depends on how it went, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with the Warriors. I'm going to go with the Warriors. And you know what? I'm sorry, Toronto. They're going to win Game 7 on your home court. I'm going Warriors in 7. And God, I wanted to pick the Raptors, but I just I don't know.
I wanted to too, but I don't know. I feel like that's the matchup that it could happen, but I just can't go against the Warriors. It's just not a smart thing.
Also, Toronto, if you get a 3-2 lead on the Warriors with home court, please hope your point guard doesn't pull his hamstring.
I know, for real. Closing remarks from Knicks.
I hope I'm totally wrong and we upset him, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Well, it was fun, dude. I think This was a good podcast. We got a good hour down.
We'll have to do some more as the playoffs go on.
Yeah, we're going to do one up round to round, so stay tuned.
Nice.